Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will build and analyze a complete A/B testing project in Power BI using our Indian campaign data. So we will compare a control campaign and a test campaign, analyze their performance across the full marketing funnel, and finally answer one simple question, that is which campaign should the business choose and why. So this project focuses less on fancy visuals and more on decision making using data, which is exactly how A/B testing is used in the real world. So let's start with an overview. A/B testing basically is used to compare two strategies under similar conditions to understand which one performs better. So instead of relying on assumptions, we let the data guide our decisions. So in this project, I have two campaigns. As I said, I have control campaign and then I have test campaign, and then there are number of metrics that we will analyze to understand which campaign is performing better. So in this project, both campaigns run at the same time period and track the same funnel. So the funnel, how it looks like, firstly we have impressions, then we have clicks, and then we have content viewed, add to cart, and then the purchase. So this is important because it allows a fair comparison. We are not just comparing totals, we are comparing efficiency, conversion behavior, and cost impact. So the objective here is not to declare one campaign as universally better, but to understand which campaign works better for which business goal, right? So that's the like main reason why we are using A/B testing here. So then I have data set. As I said, I have two campaigns, control campaign and then the test campaign. And as I said, like it's being running on the same time period, and then checking the same metrics to truly understand the difference and then analyze which one is better. So yeah, this is the final dashboard that we will be building by the end of this video. So firstly, we will compare two different campaigns based on the funnel comparison. What are the metrics looks like in these two campaigns to really understand the difference, and then we will be analyzing their cost and conversion behavior, and then finally we will make a decision based on the metrics that we have analyzed. So let me jump on to the blank Excel file where we will first look at the data. So this is the simple I've opened a new Power BI file and I'm in Power Query editor. So I have two CSV files. In first CSV file I have the data of control group campaign, and then in another CSV file I have a test data campaign. So yeah, firstly we will do some sort of cleaning here. So what I will do is I will first try to uh, rename the columns to a more specific or more good name. So instead of using this name, I can give it a name of amount spent just to look it better and feel good. So I can quickly use that in my years, and then I can just simply write it as impressions. Okay. For the reach, let's keep it this way, and then I can just simply say each website clicks, and here these would be the searches, and then finally I would have these three columns which I can also change a bit. So I can say something like content viewed, right? And then we can have added to cart, because this way we will not be able to, we will not have to rename that when we will use them in the visuals. So we are just making the names consistent and good in the Power Query editor. So yeah, this is how it looks like. I can just change that to purchases. Okay. So other than that, I do have one row where we have nulls available. So what I can do is I can just replace that to a zero, because it makes more sense to be zero here rather than a null. We do have like the amount spent here, but for the some reason that overall other numbers is not being shown, because otherwise it doesn't make sense to have null here, because we have spent enough money on it and there should be an impression and inches here. So we can also add an average or mean value here, but for the simplicity let's keep it to zero. Okay, so I think this looks good now. Let's move on to the test data, and here we will just quickly do the same. We will say something that is amount spent, because at the end we will be appending these two tables into a one table. So it then makes more easy for us to work on it and add them in our visuals. Next we have impressions, reach, and I can just change that to a website click. And then we have searches. Let me just keep it searches here, and then here I can simply say content viewed. And next we have these two columns, And in the first one I can just change that to add it to cart, and then in the final one I can say something like purchases. So we need to make sure these column names matches with the one we have in the first column. So it looks it matches. And what's next, we also need to make sure the dates and then the other data types are correct here. Okay, so yes, I think it looks good now. And now what I can do is I can just go to append and create a new append query, and here I can add control group and then the test group. So it will append these two tables, and as you guys can see, like we have 10 columns here, and in the previous tables we also had 10 columns. So it means like our columns mapped correctly. So now what we can do is we can just simply say that this is our campaigns data. We can say something like AB uh, campaign and then the data, and we can just uncheck the enable load option here because we don't really need these tables now because we have all the data in this table. So let me just hit close and apply and share that window with you guys. And this is how I will have the one single table containing all the data, not to make the data model too complex. Otherwise it's just two columns, it would still not make the data model too complex. So okay, I have this table containing all the columns here. Other than that, what I can do is it's just my practice to create another table where I just organize all the measures that I use for my project. You guys can do that, you guys cannot also. It all depends upon your preference. But I always like to keep the data organized. So I have this measure table. Here I will just add all the measures that I need for this project. So here what we will do is we will first try to create a measures of the totals. Like we would need total amount spent, total impression, total reach, website clicks, and all these things. So let's quickly create that. These measures would be very simple. We just need to use the sum function here. So for example, let's say we want to create a measure of total spend, and for this we will just do a sum of amount spent, right? So this is the reason like I renamed all the columns to make it easy for me to quickly search all these columns. I can now delete the column one because I don't really need it right now, and I can even categorize them into a folder. Like I can say something like in this folder there would be all the total measures, right? And here I can just create another measure, and that measure would be the total impressions. And for this I would just do a sum of the impressions. This is how it would look like. The data type of this should be a whole number, just to make sure we are correcting the data types accordingly. And next we will have a measure of total reach, and for this we will just do a sum of the reach column, and again this would also be a whole number. And next we can create another measure, and that measure can be total website clicks, and for this I would just do a sum of clicks column here. And yeah, so let me change its data type to whole number as well. Okay, so we have created some measures for some of our columns, and I believe total searches are left. So I would say something like total searches, and then here I would just do a sum of searches column over here. And this is how I will get the total searches, and let me change that to a whole number as well. Okay, and next let me create total content viewed as well. That would be total content viewed, and here we will just do a sum of the content viewed, right? And this would also be a whole number. So, and next let's see what's left. I guess we can also create a new measure, and that measure would be total added to cart, where again we would do a sum of our added to cart column. That would also be a whole number. And finally we would have the total purchases, and here we will do a sum of our purchases column. Okay, so let me quickly change this data type to whole number as well. So now that we have all the totals here, like we have the total added to cart, total impression, total views, we can just quickly look at the values here. It would show us the overall number here for the both campaigns. So we got total measures here, and then we can have some other measures, and these measures would be very important. We can have like cost efficiency measures. So let me create a quickly new measure, and that measure would be CPM, cost per mile. And for this, what I would do is I would just divide the total amount spent by the number of impressions that I got. So since I'm using unit mile here, so for this I would need to multiply that by 1000 to truly get the total spent per 1000 impressions, right? To get the data in miles. So I would just firstly multiply that by 1000 and then I would divide by the total spent. So this is how I would get the CPM, and its data type would be a percentage, and I can also group them in another folder, and I can name that folder as something like cost efficiency metrics. Okay, so here I would have all the cost efficiency metrics, and next I can create another measure, and that measure can be CPC. Okay, so that would be cost per number of clicks that we got. So for this I would need to divide the total amount that we spent by the number of clicks that we got, right? So this would give me the CPC, and that would also be an important metric to look into how much amount we are spending for each click, right? And next we can have another measure, and that measure could be cost per purchase, right? Sort of you can say CAC, we can say, like the uh, like how much amount we are spending for the each purchase. That would also be a very important metric, right? And for this we would divide the total spent by the total purchases, and let me change its data type to percentage again, since we are calculating the ratio, or you can say the in percentages here. So this is why it needs to be a correct data type. So next I can add another measure that can be total add to cart, and for this again I would divide the total amount spent by the added to the cart, total added to the cart. This would also give me a percentage. So let's quickly look at one of the measure here. So for example, let's look at this one. So this is the CPC value we have, and then we have all the other values. And what else we can create again? So we can also create CTR, search rate, and all these measures. So let's try to quickly create those as well. So for this, what I will do is let me first create a CTR, click-through rate. That is also a very important metric. So for this, I would divide the number of clicks that we got by the number of impressions, right? So firstly, we are giving users the impressions, and then out of all the impressions, how many users actually clicked, right? So this would give us the CTR rate to truly see like if we have the good UI, or good thumbnail and all these things that let the user click our product. So I can also categorize them into something like let me just think through it. So that can be like funnel conversion rates, right? Funnel conversion rates. Okay, and its data type would again be the percentage. Okay, so next we can also have a search rate, and obviously it all depends upon your marketing data and your business use case. What are the important metrics that you can have for your dashboard or for your data set overall insights? So like if I talk about myself, I'm just trying to create all the metrics which can be important for every business user, and which everybody should look at, and we can then focus on the more specific measures. Like this one sounds interesting, and we can further dig through to understand why this is happening. So I created a search rate, and now I can also create a content view rate as well. So for this, things would be very simple. Marketing formulas are basically very simple. So I can just say like content viewed, and then the website click, right? This would give me the content view rate, because after clicking the website, like what is the percentage like content is being viewed. Okay, and next we can also have another metric that can be add to cart rate, and for this we can just divide the add to cart rate added to the cart by the content viewed. Okay, so this also makes sense now, like if somebody viewed the content, like what is the percentage that he has actually added any product to a cart, right? So this would also be an important metric to look at our products images, and our projects labels, if it's really attracting the audience to let the product added to the cart. So next we would have very important metrics that would be a purchase rate, and for this we would divide the purchase by the added to the cart, right? So like if somebody has added any product to a cart, what is the number that he has actually purchased that product, which he actually added to the cart, right? So you see, like I'm just creating all these measures in a funnel way, like, and it all depends upon each other. Like firstly we have the word as search, and then we have content viewed, and CTR and all that stuff. So we have all these metrics. We can also create an one metric that would be a overall conversion rate, and for this what we can do is we can divide the purchases by the number of impressions. So this would give us the overall like conversion rate. At the first of our funnel we have the total impression, and at the last of the funnel we have the purchase, right? Right. So we can just use these two metrics to create another matrix that would give us the overall conversion rate. So let's say if I got any impression on a product, what is the like number that this product has been bought. So this would again be a percentage, and overall we have these metrics that we have created, and it definitely took a bit time, but these would be helpful in creating a dashboard. Overall, if I talk about my experience, it takes a lot of time, in building a model and the right metrics that we need to use, and then it's just drag and drop to to the reporting. So yeah, we have all these metrics, and for the design perspective, I've shown you the previous dashboard. So I will just copy and paste from my existing dashboard that I showed you at the start of the video in order to save the time. But I will definitely attach the PBX file in the description, so you guys can always download that and do a copy paste on your own as well. Otherwise, it takes a bit time to add the color and adjust the formatting. But I will show you a bit as well. So let me just copy from the another file. So this is just our text item here, like text box. So I just changed the color to the like dark blue, you can say. For this you can just go over here and sorry, here, and then just use this hex code here. And other than that, I use the buttons here, navigation buttons. Let me just copy and paste from the other dashboard. So to use this button, you can just go over here in search and then the buttons, and then we have the page navigator. So that is something that I just used here. And other than that, I just changed its formatting and used the like color that is being used over here. So let me just show it to you. For the font we have this color, and then for the border we have this color, and again, whenever you download the PBX file, you have the flexibility to look at the format navigator. So other than that, since we are using the two campaigns to do a comparison, like which campaign is performing better, so this is why I will add two different text box here, where first would be the control, and then the next would be the test campaign. And other than that, I just used a simple line over here to make a difference. So yes, other than that, I would be adding all the metrics over here, and here we can just add the metrics. So for example, firstly, what we can do is we can have a like total spend. Okay, this is the total spend we have, and for the total spend, I believe we would have to convert that into a currency, right? So this is the total spend we have. I haven't really applied a filter yet. Let me just first try to add all the metrics that I need to add here, and then we can have a total purchase. And next we can have another important matrix that would be cost per purchase, right? So that would be also an important matrix. Oh, I believe I mistakenly changed its data type. So these should be in a currency sign, because we are using some sort of, you can say, currency here and a cost here. So let me just quickly change that. Sorry for this mistake. This should be the in a currency symbol because we are using cost here, right? And dollar is being used here. So it needs to be in a currency data type to look good. This should also be in a currency. Okay, so we got cost per purchase, and other than that, we can also have an overall conversion rate. So let's quickly look into that as well. Where it is overall conversion rate, here it is. So this is the overall conversion rate we have, and what we can do is, let's see if I can apply a filter of campaign name over here. Yes, it's being applied because I just copied that from the existing dashboard. So we have control campaign filter is applied on all these four matrix part. So let me just copy that and paste and drag and drop over here. And here I would just need to change from control to test to look at the data by test, right? So rather than just having control, it should now show me the data for the test, right? And yeah, I got this. Other than that, I can have a cost analysis. For the cost analysis, what I can do is I can just copy and paste the table that I use here. I just use this table and then change the formatting to add the orange and then the blue color over here. After that, I can now just use the cost related matrix that I created over here. So for example, I created CPC, right? And then I also created CPM and then the cost per purchase and then the cost per add to cart. So we have these four cost related metrics, and let me just make sure we have control campaign applied again. So it is applied, and let me copy and paste and here and change the filter from control to test to look at the cost related measures for the test campaign. So this is how it looks like, and next we can have conversion related matrix. For this I use again the same table over here, and I can have a conversion related figures that I created over here. For example, I firstly created the content view rate, it's this one, and then the CTR, click through rate, and also the search rate, added to the cart rate, and purchase rate as well, and then finally the overall conversion rate. So let me just squeeze that to fit that into the space that we have over here. Okay, so I can just squeeze that as well. Okay, it looks good now. And let's make sure we have controls campaign filter applied over here, because in the left side we are just looking at the controls data, and on the right side we would have our test data. Okay, so I'm sorry, I just clicked this thing. So we have test data over here, right? So as you can see, like overall conversion rate is matching with the one that we have added at the top of the page. And next we can also show our trend of daily spend that we are doing, right? To look at the posting. So for the total spend, we can just add that in this line chart. Okay. Again I applied some sort of a formatting, like I turned on the data labels and then remove the title of the X and Y axis, right? Other than that, it's just a normal line chart region. So control filter is applied over here, and let me change for this one to test. The way like I'm just looking at the total spend trend. You guys can also look at the total purchase trend and other metrics that you feel is important for our business, right? So in this page we have just analyzed the cost and conversion. So I can just rename that to cost and conversion analysis, and let me duplicate that thing, and I can just move it here, and here I can keep the wheels that I need, and then remove the wheels that I don't really need. So for example, I can just delete these ones, and here I would add another wheel that can be helpful for us. So for example, here I would be adding the funnel wheel, and this wheel can be helpful for our marketing data, like the way we are just using here. So I'm just using the funnel wheel here, and here we can create a funnel. So in the funnel we firstly have the total impression, right? Next we have the website clicks, and then we have the total content viewed. Okay, and next we have the total added to the cart, and after that we finally have the total purchase. We do have reaches, leads, searches, and spends, but for the simplicity we will have these. This is the pipeline for our marketing funnel, right? So this is how it looks like, and let me just make sure if a controls campaign filter is applied. Yes, it is. So let me copy and paste over here and change that to uh, test one, right? Okay, so this is how we have created the comparison of the all the important metrics that we just created in this video. So in the final one, we can create our description by analyzing the metrics that we have created and seeing like what are the insights and what are the decisions that we can make based on the metrics and the data that we got for the two different campaigns, right? So for this one, I've created a description for that. Let me just copy paste and show you how does it looks like. So let me first delete this one as well. So let me delete these ones as well. Okay, and sorry, let me change its uh, type name to funnel comparison, right? And for the this one, I can have a name of the title as decision summary. Okay. So for the text and for the control campaign, this is the text that I added before the video to show you. So this is for the control one and this is for the test one, right? So if we look at the text, we have lower cost per purchase in the control campaign. Let's try to look at that. So we have 4.53 for the campaign A and 4.92 for the campaign B, right? So we have relatively low cost per purchase, and then we have a stronger mid to lower performance of the funnel. Like we have higher content to rate, we have higher added to cart items. This thing is also important for the campaign A. We have like this thing is which is a bit higher than this one, like as you can see, like it's 5.5, it's 5.6, and then it's 3.7, it's 2.6. So we have these two metrics higher for the campaign A, right? And then we have other things like convert fewer rate, but those users are more engaged, and then we have cost effective sales and stronger intent users. So here the key takeaways, like the control campaign extract more value per user and per dollar spent, because we have seen like this thing is also a bit higher for the campaign A. Like we have cost per purchase that is lower, which means like it's lower for us, and we are using lower amount to getting more users into buying our product. And if we look at the test, we have overall conversion rate higher for the campaign B, right? So let's try to look at that as well. Like we have 0.7% for the campaign B, and we have 0.5% for the campaign A, that is higher. And then we have a better CTR and purchase rate. And finally, the key takeaway is test campaign is better at driving volume and top line growth, but less cost effective efficient, because we have like large cost um, metrics over here, as we have seen, like, right? So this is how we have these two results, and then in the final we can have a final answer, like which campaign should we choose, like the final recommendation that we can give to the marketing team. And that final recommendation can be, let me just put it here. And then the final recommendation would be choose the test campaign for the highest conversions and faster scaling. And then if our goal is to have lower cost per purchase and the better efficiency, we can choose the control campaign. For the better results, we can use the test campaign to drive traffic, and then the control campaign to convert it to profitability. That would also be a very good decision that we can make by looking at the data for the campaign A and then the campaign B. So yeah, which campaign is better? Again, if the goal is growth, reach, and overall conversion, the test campaign is the better one. And if the goal is cost efficiency, stronger engagement, and better value per dollar, the control campaign performs better. So this is how A/B testing should be presented in Power BI, not just charts, but clear insights and business decisions. And if you find this helpful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments if you want a deeper dive into funnel analysis or any real world uh, Power BI related projects. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.